Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the Range Rover Evoque, the smallest car that you can buy at the moment at Land Rover Range Rover. Now it's not really that small, but considering it's a Land Rover, it is quite compact. Now this is the plug-in hybrid version, the P300e. And in this video, I'm going to do a quick tour around the car. I'm going to show you the exterior, I'm going to show you the interior, and we're going to take it out for a drive. And then I will tell you a bit more about the plug-in hybrid powertrain. And welcome in the Range Rover Evoque, the P300e plug-in hybrid version. Let's kick off by talking about the plug-in hybrid powertrain on this car, because that is what makes this car so interesting. What you have to know that this is the most powerful version that you can get of the Evoque. You can also get a 300 horsepower 2-liter petrol engine in this car, but this powertrain has a system output of 309 horsepower and 540 newton meters of torque, which is plenty for a car this size. But this is also a pretty heavy car. It's actually really heavy. It weighs more than 2100 kilos. This is 350 kilos heavier than a regular Evoque. So yeah, that is a lot of weight for such a compact SUV. But then again, it has a lot of power, and it also has instant power, because this car has a petrol engine that produces 200 horsepower, but it also has an electric motor producing 109 horsepower. And obviously the electric motor provides instant torque. So this car is actually pretty zippy. This car will do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 6.4 seconds, which is not bad for a car like this. The top speed on the car is also not that bad, 215 kilometers an hour. You do have to keep in mind that if you want to have the full system output, you do need to charge the car regularly, because, well, the electric motor does need electricity. The car has a battery pack located under the back seats, so it doesn't take up much space, and it has a capacity of 15 kilowatt hours. You can charge it at home, obviously, then it will take around 4 to 5 hours. But this car can also fast charge, which is pretty unique for a plug-in hybrid. Most plug-in hybrids you can only charge at home or at the public charger, not at a fast charger. But this car you can. Now, how fast would a car actually fast charge? Now, on paper the car would do 32 kilowatts at a fast charger. I didn't manage to get that. I only got up to 24 kilowatts, and I tried it multiple times on different occasions. And that's all I got. But still, that's okay for a plug-in hybrid. You need about half an hour to fill up the battery to 80%. Is it really useful to have a plug-in hybrid that you can fast charge? I'm not so sure, to be honest, because in a half an hour you can get up to, let's say, 40 kilometers of range if you're lucky. Now, I'm not sure it's worth waiting for such a long time for only a couple of extra miles. So I probably wouldn't use it, but I guess it's fun to have the option. Now, because the car has two engines, one in the front providing power to the front wheels and one electric motor in the back providing power to the rear wheels, this car has four-wheel drive. Now, let's have a quick look at the exterior design of the Evoque. So now you already heard a lot of technical information about this plug-in hybrid Evoque. Now let's take a quick step back and look at the exterior design, and then we're going to start here at the front. As you can see, the Evoque basically looks like a baby Range Rover. The front end design almost looks completely the same as the previous generation of the Range Rover, and I would even go as far as to say that the completely new Range Rover still kind of looks like the car that you've got here, except it's just way bigger. So you got the small grille here on the front with the big Range Rover letters here on top on the hood. Now, the version that I've got here is the R-Dynamic version, the extra sporty looking version. So you got a lot of black accents on the car, for example the grille here, but also the grille here on top is completely finished in glossy black. You also got some black glossy fake air inlets here on the side, and also on the hood you got some fake air inlets and also some black accents here on the side. The mirrors are black, and even the wheels on this car are also completely finished in glossy black. You also got some black door sills going on here, and what I think is really funny is the fact that this car doesn't have any black plastic cladding around the wheel arches, because that's a big trend that you see on a lot of SUVs and even on crossovers that are not meant to go off-road. But this car doesn't have it. Well, this car is actually capable to go off-road. Now, obviously this is an Evoque, so this is not the best off-roader in the world, but the car does have four-wheel drive. It has a lot of drive modes, so it is actually quite capable to go off-road. But still, this car doesn't have any fancy black plastic cladding around the wheel arches. And I think that's a wise decision on Range Rover, because it makes the car look way more stylish. What also makes this car look very stylish is the fact that you got this pop-in door handles that are flush with the body. That's just a very nice detail in this car. They're completely flush with the body. You can open them by unlocking the car with your key, and you can also close them like that, but you can also open them by pressing the button that is integrated and flush in the door handle. So if you press it, they will come out of the car. That's just a very nice detail. The Velar was the first car from Land Rover that had this, and you can also see this car as a baby Velar. So this car also has the windows that are flush with the body, just like on the Velar and on the new Range Rover. And also the back end design of this car really reminds me of the Velar. So you got the continuous strip going down here on the back. In the center it says Range Rover, again spelled out in black on this version. You also got a pretty big diffuser here on the back. It doesn't really do anything, but it does look kind of sporty on this car. You don't get any exhaust here on this version because, again, this is the P300e, and of course this is the economical version, the environmentally friendly version, so you don't get any exhaust here. The exhaust is actually down here if you really want to know. What also reminds me of the Velar is the really narrow windscreen that you got here. It is really hard to look out to when you're driving the car. But luckily you can get a camera system on this car. Then you get a camera here integrated in the shark fin. Now this particular version doesn't have it, but you can get a camera here. And that camera will send its image to the rear view mirror, and then you can flick the rear view mirror, and then suddenly you got a screen that is portraying the image feed from the camera, and then you can actually see what's going on behind you. Let's also have a quick look at the storage space that you got here in the back. This car has a capacity of 472 liters, which is actually not that bad for a plug-in hybrid. You also got some underfloor storage going on here, where you can leave your charging cables. If you wind them up really tight, I just leave them here in the back. It's way easier. You also got a little net here on the side, and also some plastic or some elastic band here. There are some hooks where you can leave your daily groceries on. So all in all, that is very handy. What is not so handy is the fact that you cannot fold down the rear seats from here. There's not a little lever that you can just pull and then the back seats will go down. You actually have to do that manually over there. What is quite handy is the fact that you can also only just fold down the middle seat if you want to move some longer items. It's not just the exterior of the car that resembles the Velar, also the interior really looks like you're getting inside of a Velar or even a Range Rover. The outgoing Evoque even had the same steering wheel as the Range Rover. What I mean by that is that the interior looks very classy. This doesn't look like a Land Rover Defender at all. This is not a robust, off-roady looking interior. It all looks very classy and also very modern. You get two very good looking screens here in the center. This system is called the Touch Pro Duo system, and it actually runs the PV Pro system. So there's a lot of systems going on here in the interior. I really like the PV Pro system on the car, and I also like this Touch Pro Duo setup because on the top you get the infotainment system, but on the lower screen you can do all the settings for the climate controls and also the settings for the car itself. So for example, if you want to change some drive modes, you can easily access it here on the lower screen. And like I said, you can also change the climate controls here as well. There are even two round dials here that you can use to change the temperature in the car. And you can also use those round dials for the heated seats. What I also really like in the car is the fit and finish of everything. Like I said, the interior looks very classy. I think it's the best looking interior in this segment because it's very modern, but also, like I said, very classy. You got all these high-grade materials all over the dashboard, but also here in the door panels. And not just the door panels here on the front doors, but also the rear doors are finished in this really lovely black material and a lot of chrome as well. Now, like I said, the car is pretty heavy, but you don't really notice the difference compared to a regular Evoque, because power-wise, there is plenty of power. And weight-wise, the car has always been pretty heavy, pretty chunky, pretty sturdy. So you don't really notice the extra weight, except when you're really pushing the car. But this is not a car you should be pushing because this is not a sports car. This is a comfortable highway cruiser that you can use for the occasional off-road use. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And then I'll see you in the next one.